The doctor.
I can't put that down.
John Smith.
Really?
Aye.
Dr. John Smith.
Oh, there must be a lot of them about.
I dare say. And then again he lied. At least I'm almost sure he lied about his friend's name. John Smith, he called him.
Well, they do exist, you know.
Yes, he was looking at that for long enough. Dr. John Smith, isn't it?
John? John.
Oh, yes. For the last time, what is your name?
Why don't you just call me Doctor?
That is not a name. I want your full name.
Oh, very well. Dr. John Smith.
Good. Now we are getting somewhere.
Oh, by the way, I've just realized. I don't even know your name.
Smith. Dr. John Smith.
Your name?
My name? You asked me my name after all the years that you and I... Well, now, wait a minute. Yes, I think I'm beginning to see what's happened here. Might I suggest you just call me Doctor?
Doctor. Doctor what?
Smith. Dr. John Smith.
Smith. Yes, of course.
You've got some hopes. All right, Tony, he's no elephant. What's your name?
Smith.
Smith? You've got no imagination. Try again, Mr. Smith.
Doctor, actually.
Horse doctor, maybe.
And your name?
Smith. Dr. John Smith.
Seems to be a lot of them about today.
I'm sorry?
Well, I was talking to a young woman just now, also Smith. Oh, there she is. Miss Smith.
Yes, Professor?
Come and meet your namesake. Miss Lavinia Smith, Dr.
Dr. John Smith. How do you do, Miss Smith?
Hello?
Names?
Now, if I can have a word with someone...
Names?
It's Sarah Jane Smith.
Name?
Dr. John Smith. No relation.
1999.
Whatever you're about to do, stop.
Mr. Smith, you're going to be all right.
No, I am not human. I am not like you.
Nobody's like you, Mr. Smith.
Try not to speak, Mr. Smith.
Somehow I don't think this man's name is Mr. Smith, do you?
Are you a friend of Mr. Smith's?
Yeah. Is he okay?
Something.
Rolls, it hit the middle of London with a very loud bang. I'm gonna ask.
Dr. John Smith, Ministry of Asteroids.
And you are?
Smith, John Smith.
John Smith. I used to have a friend who sometimes went by that name.
Now then, Mr. Smith, a very good morning to you. How are you today?
Oh, not so bad. Still a bit, blah.
John Smith admitted yesterday with severe abdominal pains.
I promise you, Mr. Smith, we will find a way out. If we can travel to the moon, then we can travel back. There's got to be a way.
It's not Smith. That's not my real name.
Who are you then?
I'm the doctor.
Me too, if I ever pass my exams. What is it then, Dr. Smith?
Welcome aboard, Miss Jones.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Smith.
Miss Jones, will you accompany me to the theatre?
Mr. Smith, I will. Pardon me, Mr. Smith. You're not dressed yet. I can come back later.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Smith.
There we go.
And it's John, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
Have you seen this, John? As your Mr. Smith says, nothing to see.
Your crew's on fine form today, Mr. Smith.
It's your class, Mr. Smith. As you were, Mr. Smith.
If you'll excuse me, Mr. Smith, I was just thinking about the day my husband was shot.
Problem is, I keep thinking about them, but I don't know what to do. Thinking about who? Mr. Smith and Matron. Because it's never going to last. He's going to leave in a few weeks.
Mr. Smith? No one home.
The maid was definitely hiding something. A secret around this Mr. Smith.
John? You're not John Smith. Mr. Smith?
Everything I told you, just forget it. Don't say anything.
We asked for silence! Now then, we have a few questions for Mr. Smith.
Maid told me about Smith and the matron. Make your decision, Mr. Smith. Do it, Mr. Smith. I mean you.
Mr. Smith, I think you should escort your lady friend to safety, don't you? Can't do this, Doctor. Mr. Smith!
Perhaps you did well then, Mr. Smith. What makes you think the danger's coming here?
What's that? They said,
Baines threatened Mr. Smith, sir.
Mr. Smith, it seems your favourite servant has given me advice.
Sir, you will send us Mr. John Smith. That's all we want, sir. Mr. John Smith, and whatever he's done with his Time Lord consciousness, then we'd be very happy to leave you alone.
You speak with someone else's voice, Baines. Who might that be?
We are the family of blood.
Mr. Smith said there had been deaths.
Yes, because the family has travelled far and wide looking for Mr. Smith and all the things we have seen. Run along, headmaster, run back to school, and send us Mr. Smith!
Mr. Phillips has been murdered, Mr. Smith. Can you tell me why?
The man you called John Smith, he was born on another world.
Tell me, John, please tell me. John Smith wouldn't want them to fight. Never mind the doctor. John Smith, I was getting to know. He knows it's wrong. Doesn't he?
Mr. Smith, if you please.
Mr. Smith.
She was with Baines in the village. Mr. Smith, I have seen many strange sights this night, but there is no cause on God's earth that would allow me to see this child in the field of battle, sir.
I'm sorry, John. But you wrote about it. The blue box. You dreamt of a blue box.
I'm not. I'm John Smith. That's all I want to be. John Smith. With his life and his job and his love. Why can't I be John Smith? Isn't he a good man?
Yes.
The doctor, Mr. Smith, the boy, the watch.
Keep going.
Just listen to me for once, John. Now follow me.
John, don't. And they all send their love, John.
He made me John Smith.
Where is he? John Smith?
Because everything that John Smith is and was, I'm capable of that too.
John Smith is dead, and you look like him. Donna Noble, Health and Safety.
John Smith, Health and Safety.
3 working days,
John
registered
Smith,
post.
Health and Safety, don't mind me.
Box comes with 20...
Someone should call the police. You don't have to. Chief Inspector Smith from Scotland Yard, known as the Doctor. Miss Noble is the plucky young girl who helps me out.
Perhaps you could tell us your name. What does it matter? Then tell us. John Smith, you're real.
He's lying. Look at his face.
His eyes are the same as hers.
Why won't you tell us?
It's a simple...
He's been lying to us right from the start.
Doctor, this one's called John Smith.
Now, listen to me.
Come on,
listen to me.
John Smith.
Mr. Smith was just leaving.
Might I ask, who are you exactly?
No, I'm just Smith, John Smith. But I've heard all about you, Doctor.
You won't believe this, Mr. Smith, but they are creatures from another world.
Really? Wow.
They talk of Cybermen from the stars. And you don't blink, Mr. Smith. Been a pleasure, Mr. Smith. Don't breathe a word of it.
Oh, can't I come with you?
Oh, it's far too dangerous. Rest assured, I shall keep this city safe. Oh, and, Merry Christmas, Mr. Smith. You seem familiar, Mr. Smith. I beg you, John. Help me.
Doctor, the answer to all this is in your TARDIS. Can I see it?
Mr. Smith, it would be my honor. Think of it, John. The time and the space.
And she was a nurse in 1913, and she fell in love with this man called John Smith. Except he was a visitor from another world.
Don't overreact.
You might as well call me Smith.
Smith.
John Smith.
Yeah.
Doctor.
Call me Smith. John Smith.
I'm the doctor. Well, other doctor. Or Smith. It's complicated and boring.
Dr. and Mrs. Smith. Oh, yes. You'll do very nicely.
Oh, grand. Smashing. Hey, the missus and I couldn't be more chuffed, couldn't we, love? Eh?
I'm the new caretaker, John Smith.
Welcome to Colville, Mr. Smith.
Thanks. Yes, John Smith's the name. But you know, here's the thing. Most people just call me the Doctor.